Fantastic, because I dare say for most of you, it is, the summer, the holidays. Most of us are in a probably only a few days long heat wave as well. So there were lots of reasons to actually not turn up today. So congratulations and well done to those of you who did turn up in order to work on your businesses, to work on who you are. So welcome to today's IAPC&M CPD Building Masterclass. My name, in case I didn't say it already, is Julie Kennedy, and I am your host from a very sunny and extremely hot, suddenly, Brittany, France. And I am actually thrilled to welcome back our expert guest speaker today. So our IAPC&M accredited senior coach and vocation architect, Hulya. I love that. What a term, vocation architect. Now, someone that I personally always feel very inspired and motivated by, and a woman of many talents, as we found out last time, including belly dancing. But not for today. It's too hot for any of that. So some housekeeping first. Our call today will be 1 hour maximum, and that includes 15 minutes of Q&A. We will leave it up to Hulya to ask interactively, or if you have a question which doesn't quite fit into what she's saying now, but you want to make sure to keep it for later, park it in the comments, right? And then we'll make sure that we ask those at the end. So the session is recorded, so please mute yourself if we're not asking too many questions, but I imagine we'll be not a very large group in the Zoom. People will also be following on the Facebook and on the replays. But if possible, keep your video on. Like that, it's so much more fun. Now, the topic today is one that we always need, and something that maybe we don't always stop and actually recalibrate about before we take, a call or a meeting with a client, because we get a bit blasé after a while, but it's meeting clients like a pro. So I hope you have your CPD pad and your pens ready to make copious notes. And over to you, Hulya.
Thank you so much, Julie, for the wonderful introduction. As usual, the mastery is yours. You're great in this. And hey, you are absolutely great. And welcome to the ones who are here in person live. And also for the ones who will be watching it or actually on live themselves on Instagram, Facebook, or wherever, LinkedIn, wherever they're dialing in from. And I am with IAPC&M as well, volunteering. I'm the book coordinator. So anyone who's reading books or would like to review books, I'm a call out to anyone to contact me. That would be great. On top of that, thanks so much for the wonderful introduction. I'm a senior accredited master coach and mentor from the IAPC&M. I've got my own company called InKick. That's like I nudge you, I kick you to innovate yourself. And I call myself the vocation architect. Your calling is something to build up. And up to that, what is our topic today? It's about how to meet clients like a pro. And if we say pro, I would like to get back a bit. And I might ask questions as well in between. We are a nice, cozy group, so you can unmute yourself to answer anything or just share your ideas, because one size fits all does not exist, and everyone has got different circumstances and also is unique. So what we're going to cover a bit today, it's like, oops, yeah, it's going to be how to demonstrate professionalism in all client interactions. And when I mean all client interactions, that covers emails, any newsletters that you send out, any workshops that you have online, also face-to-face, because it's not easy to meet clients face-to-face from time to time, doing coaching or mentoring face-to-face, and how to present yourself in any kind of setting that might be virtual networking or on-site networking. And being professional is always this wonderful word, which can be different from people. So the perception, we're going to talk about that as well. On top of that, how to have an impression on your clients. I think that's very important. And here we are talking again about emotional intelligence. With what emotions do you leave your clients with? Because let's face it, we as business entrepreneurs, our own company owners, CEOs, we are the ones who will be leaving our clients with certain emotions. And that's important for the success of our business, but also for our own personal branding, and how to captivate your clients, your participants during online engagements. That could be anything, could be workshops, webinars, one-to-ones even, whatever it is. That's why I called it engagements, right? Because it's broader. So with that, what do you think here? Is professionalism actually attracting and magnetizing success? Or is it vice versa? What is your steer on that? Anyone who would like to give his and her 5 cents? Just checking out. Yes,
Yeah, go
Carrie,
ahead,
I see
Carrie.
your hand raised. Yes, go.
I think, well, from experience, I would definitely say that professionalism feeds success. I don't think that without being professional, you can be entirely successful for a long period of time and build a brand.
Build a brand. Thank you so much, Carrie. I like that. Building your brand, because this is what it boils down to. Thank you. Anyone
And I
else,
like the
Peter?
fact you added in that you added in the long term, because I think we can wing it maybe once, right? That people are like, oh wow, but then if you don't follow up or there's nothing of substance after that, you know, I think that was great that you
Absolutely.
added that, Carrie. Yeah.
That's correct, Judy. And it's about sustainability, consistency, and how you show up every day, right? That's also very important. Every day showing up like that is professional is very important. So what is professionalism? Let's elaborate on that. And this is not ChatGPT. I always check Wikipedia, as you can see. But here we've got something interesting, which I would like to highlight. What constitutes professionalism is hotly debated and varies from workplace to workplace and between cultures. So there is no one size fits all. Professionalism might be completely different in Australia than in Turkey, than in Germany, than in the UK. Huh? So what does professionalism mean is really vague, not set in stones, and depends according to the circumstances and in which environment you are working in. It is also a big difference between public and private. You know, I mean, there's a big difference how you show up in public sector and private sector. There's this also the academical aspect of this, because I'm a professor. So during the academical institutions, there is a different perception how you shall promote yourself. And professionalism means completely something else there as well. So professionalism is something that you need to define for yourself. But how would you, and this is a question for you, how would you define professionalism for yourself? And for that, I would like you to take a moment to, how would you like to be perceived? And with different hats as well. I ask this all the time to my clients as well. You know, as a peer, as a leader, as a business owner, as a friend, as a mother, you know, think about how would you like to be perceived? And a good question on that, if we stick only to professionalism, business owners, is a questions that I love to ask. And that is, what would you like that people say about you when your retirement ceremony is taking place? So you're retired, imagine that, you worked, and there is a wonderful kind of, you know, speech, someone is honoring you. For example, Julie is really a great person. She's someone with lots of creative ideas. How would you like that person, that these persons are talking in front of all the people, 100 people, 120 people who were invited? What would you like them to say about you? So you need to define your own professionalism. What does it mean for you? How would you like that people understand you? How would you like that people relate to you? What emotions do you evoke in them when you have client interactions? Is it energy? Is it creativity? Is it serenity? You know, and every client, and we have got different coaching niches as well. I'm more in the professional sphere, although I believe strongly that professionalism and personal life converges. So I don't believe in the kind of work-life balance where we segregate. No, it's actually together. And sometimes personal prevails, sometimes it's professional. It really depends. We juggle. And for me, I know that I am someone who can motivate people, give energy to people, nudge them a lot, take them accountable, and be as well a bit pushy, because this is what it takes to succeed in the professional career environment. Otherwise, if we don't stretch and if we don't fetch for the cherry on top of the cake, there will be nothing coming up. So that's me, giving energy, giving motivation, and also being realistic with outcome, action plan. That's what professionals are looking for. And this is where I'm good at as well. So think about, how would you like to be perceived? A good question to answer. If we take that, does personal branding occur whether participate in it or not? What do you think? Terry says yes, nodding. Correct. Whether you like it or not, whether you create own branding or not, it will occur the way or the other. And for your personal branding and your professionalism, you have got a wonderful formula here. This is your branding, how you want to be getting across your message. It's a combination between your values, your strength, your goals, and your mission. Everything feeds into your professionalism. And this is how we meet our clients. And therefore, and as you can see, I've got LinkedIn. I'm a LinkedIn freak. Yeah? And this is the first thing as well on how to use your tagline. I mean, Julie alluded to that. You know, I put myself as vocation architect there because it's the calling. Because from where I know my clients who are professional, whether public or private, they're looking for break free from their hamster wheel. They want to get out, but they don't know how. They need clarity. They need to have guidance. And for that, I call it, it's your calling. How can we find your calling? So think about how would you like to get across your message? Because this is your professionalism. And this is how you meet your clients. This is what clients are looking at for you and what they are actually searching for. This is already, it starts professionalism, and meeting your clients like a pro starts already with what they see on LinkedIn, what they see on social media, and what they see on the website. Believe it or not, people are always stalking. If they want to actually work with someone, they will go on Google and find you. Or either they are consulting as well, all these professional platforms that we have for ourselves. So make sure that when you create your tagline, it's 220 characters that you can use there. Make sure that your clients understand what you offer and how to come across as professional as your niche needs. So think again about what the niche is needing there. What are the needs there? For me, it's really tangible, professional, professional people in transition. Let's thrive together. That's what I transmit. So if we have got that, and if we have thought about this, so in the meantime, I think everyone is just, writing down something about how you would like to be perceived. Was there anything which was striking out immediately? When you were thinking about that question, if I would ask you the question, how would you like to be perceived? What would be your answer? One word only.
Some have put some, sorry, in the comments as well. Yeah, Peter's written relatable and trustworthy. Okay, that's 3 words, but he didn't know then it was only 1 word. Like Kerry's put reliable.
Reliable. All right, good.
Yeah, authentic, interested.
Authentic. Interested. Okay, great. So always think you can elaborate on that even more, because until I found my own tagline, which was so resonating with me, it took me a while. So this is a process. You need to work on this. And it's not set in stones, because you evolve, you transform as well. So make sure that you regularly definitely review what you have written out there, because this is your professional branding, your personal branding. And this is where clients will meet you and see you. So this is great. If we have got the tagline, if we know how we want to be perceived and professional, we want to actually now meet our clients, what do we need to do? We're using online methods, but how can we make sure that we nurture as well all our online connections? And it's about taking care of them. And it's the number one thing is consistency. And this is as well walk the talk. This is how you come across professional. I will just give you an example. I mean, I was working for a company 30 years. Thomson Reuters, you might know, UK-based company, financial information, was leader, directing, project managing, doing all that stuff. On top of that, I was organizing fun events, Christmas parties, ski weekends, summer parties, etc. And whenever we were out during the week, when our head of customer admin was over from the UK, we always went what? To dinner. After the dinner, there is a bar. After the bar, what comes next? We go to a club. And next day is a working day. No matter how much I was drinking, no matter how late it was, even if it's only 2 hours of sleep, I was in the office every morning at 7:30. This is something that I did consistently. Even if I was really dying out of, no sleep, 2 espressos, 3 espressos in the morning, I show up in the morning. I am there. I'm in the office. I might be not completely productive, right? It could be a bit of, you've got ups and downs, but I'm there for my stuff because I need to lead. I'm a leader. Everyone's looking up to me. So I need to be there. Am I present? Yes. Can they ask me any questions? Yes. Do I do complicated project management? No, better not. Maybe I do that later when I wake up, really. But this is about consistency. And this is how you meet your clients as well consistently, whether online, in person. When you say and promise, you shall be there. Otherwise, send a message if you foresee and also anticipate any delays. Also, on social media, how you come across is very important. So you can segregate as well. LinkedIn for me is absolutely professional. Instagram, I love as well. Some business comes through from Instagram, but I'm a bit more leisure there. So it's a bit more, personal stories, where I was, people want to see how you live as well. You don't need to, of course, because some people are different. They're holding back. That's fine. If you don't have Instagram, that's okay. It's just my experience. I'm just sharing how I'm doing this. And TikTok is for videos only. And I've got my YouTube channel where I really think it's a nice repository for everyone. Who are my clients? Who are my followers? To give them some snippets and motivation for life and for career tips. So that's me. You choose where you want to be present. LinkedIn, absolutely professional. So if you want to nurture your clients, you definitely need to always, what I do, a best practice is the following. On LinkedIn, you've got the notifications. If you click on that now, it's not a notification now, it's called catch up. You click on catch up and you can see who's got birthdays, who's got anniversaries, who finished some education. And guess what? Your followers and your clients you want to have a closer relationship with, check out what they have. They're humans. If you give them a nice happy birthday, they love it because they feel appreciated, they feel recognized. And that's a very easy to do 5-minute thing in the morning. Consistently, I'm checking every morning who's got anniversaries, who's got birthdays, and you can choose. I do it for all my contacts, although I don't know all of them in detail, doesn't matter. It's a human that I connected for whatever reason. And since he or she or the human has got a birthday, I always take that time to congratulate, to wish them happy birthday. Makes a huge difference. And it creates as well a more profound relationship afterwards. And they have the opportunity to check out you again to see, who was Hulya again? God's sake, what is she doing? And then, that might be interesting for me. So you create as well engagement here. This is how you meet your clients like a professional. Being kind, that's very important. Courtesy, I would say. And we know in the UK, courtesy, you know, it's nice. It encompasses everything, you know, being responsive. Whatever message you receive, again, respond, yes or no, it does not matter. I always make sure that I respond to all my requests over LinkedIn, over email, over Instagram. And there are a lot that are coming to me to look for business. They offer their services, but I don't need them. I never leave anyone in limbo. I said, no, thank you. They might insist that, no, thank you, I don't need anything, and that's it. So courtesy involves as well responding on a consistent basis, being kind, being professional. Yeah, professionalism, again, how you want to be perceived. And I think that's really important in this era of time, which is fast-paced. No one has got time for anyone. Respect and showing respect for your clients is also incorporated in courtesy. What else? Be passionate. That's what actually all our clients are looking for. Your professional brand needs as well show and demonstrate how passionate you are about your job, about your business, whatever business it is. I know ECL is translations, for example, right? So I'm passionate about that. If you introduce yourself, show that. It's great, because then I can say, she knows what she's doing, you know? Or, hey, you know, Peter is really great in what he's doing because he shows me that. So show that. It could be as well, it doesn't need to be high up and low, though the passion needs to shine through, because your clients will be then more likely to connect with you and make business with you. And patience. Meeting our clients like a pro requires as well patience, because not everyone that you connect will immediately say yes to your offer or will be your client. But consistency and always checking in with your client is very important. Even though they might not even have said anything for a while, the people, I'm sure you have got your own database. I'm not talking about the database that you're using, but always review once a month your database. See, I haven't heard about Lucy for a while. Let me see, the last I remember, and you might have some notes because I always do notes, she had maybe a health issue. Let me connect with her. Yeah? You can use as well different methods, like there are lots of companies who've got this flow of emails that you can also program and pre-program. I don't use them. I use more personal emails, but I also use other means of communication to keep it alive, because we need to nurture our connections and our clients. And if you have a bit more bonding with some, with few and others, that's great. Make sure that you keep in touch with them. With some of them, I've got even WhatsApp connections, and I quite frequently say, hey, how are you today? I'm just genuinely interested in your well-being. That creates as well a bond, and people feel appreciated. Newsletter. How many of you do send newsletters? Just raise your hands. Carrie, great. Ooh, Emma, no. Dawn didn't raise her hand. She does. Okay, great, Dawn, great. Newsletters are also a way of keeping your customers informed about what you're doing. That's another method of meeting your clients like a professional. Whomever I worked with before or had connections, they always sent newsletters. You might say it's out of date. Actually, it's not. People are still interested what's going on. But the newsletter needs to be a nice combination between a personal story and what you want to offer. Also value. So it's not only, hey, I've got these webinars, come and join and get this program on, it's 2,000, whatever. No. Sometimes I only send newsletters with value, with a quiz, with blogs, food for thought, you know, something that my audience can resonate and relate to. And they love reading because that means I take care of them. I'm interested in their growth. It's not only selling, it's more than that. We are meeting our clients what they need. For example, if it's nutrition, it would be recipes maybe. Yeah? So you would be creating your recipes and say, I tried this wonderful recipe. It really works for me. Here we go. Yeah? And people love that. And not too long either. Really short, concise, you know, people don't have lots of time to read about lots of blogs, etc. If they want, they can click on everything. But newsletters is another way to meet your clients like a professional. Emails as well. Either you can use an email flow. There's a lot of programs where you can say, hey, how are you today? You know, I think you might be interested in that. Then you send another flow. Oh, I haven't heard about you. I'm sure you might be interested in XYZ. How much and what you would like to invest in, it's in your own remit. I don't use that. I use more personalized ones and I cherry pick, honestly, but make sure that you really nurture them in an email which is personalized. Because you know when it's coming from a system anyways. And continuous reminders needed for your clients. And that's for your services as well. Because we forget. And if we say consistent reminders, continuous reminders does not need to be always like, come always to my program. It might be as well just, hey, you know what? Here's a bite-sized learning for you. Maybe it will be something nice to try out for yourself. Yeah. Something really leisure, a bit more light, but continuous reminders what you do and what value you bring to your clients is important. Because otherwise, your clients will forget. And we need to remind ourselves, it's not bragging. It's not about, hey, I'm the best. It's about bringing value to our clients because that makes the difference. Yeah? And care. Like you see with the wonderful flower, you know, it's very fragile, vulnerable, you know, we need to take care of it and it will grow a bit. Some of the seeds don't grow, that's fine as well, but we take equal care of each and one of them. And that also involves having personalized messages on LinkedIn. And sometimes I do because every day I'm going on LinkedIn, say on catch up, and I see my previous communication with them. And then I build on the previous communication, say, hey, you know what, you were up on this. How's it going now? And they love to provide some information about themselves. So taking care and meeting your clients like a professional, how you want to be perceived, is very important. It's one of the main foundations of us business owners, coaches, whatever niche you are in. Because this is when clients think, yes, I think my coach really takes care of me. So, with that, any questions around taking care of our clients, meeting them, where they are and how we would like to be perceived before we go on to online workshops to, again, have different ideas? Any questions or any comments, any feedback, or your best practice as well? I think we lost Peter.
But Kerry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm interested in what you think about boundaries. So it's very easy to be too enthusiastic, too caring, and then, you know, become basically a pain. So what's your rough guide, because I know every single relationship will be unique with all your different clients. So do you have a rough guide, or do you suggest that we just go by our gut feel?
Well, roughly, too intrusive, we don't want to be perceived. Yeah. I might send one email to say, hey, how are you? How is it going? I'm genuinely interested. If I don't receive an email, I would do another follow-up and I would leave it there. That's it. It's more than enough. But I think, you know what? LinkedIn is really good in that, because you will only congratulate someone on happy birthdays, which is annual anniversary, and to their working anniversary, and any that they do for education, for example. So I think using LinkedIn would be more professional than having only emails. And if you have good relationships, you can be a bit more, how shall I say, more connections, have more connections, more intimate connections, absolutely go for it. But the rest, make sure that you have these boundaries as well. No more than maximum 2 follow-up emails, and that's it. That's enough. With my newsletters, even, I don't do any follow-up. I send it out, people click, and I see and monitor how many people click on the links that I provided, but the rest I don't do. However, if someone has downloaded one of my freebies, one of my resources, I receive a notification. I immediately send a welcome email on that, because they downloaded a resource from me, and I see who that is. So I say, hi, welcome to Inke. It's really thrilled that you have used one of the resources. If you feel that you need more insights or any questions around it, happy to be here. I'm here for you. I leave it there. I don't follow up other. That's it. Enough. But I want to do a welcome. Why? Because this person, this human, was interested in my resources. So I need to make sure that they feel welcome, that they feel, oh, I'm interested in them. But if they don't respond, I leave it there. So again, it's a bit of a mix and balance act. Like chess, with some a bit more, the others a bit more backwards, and you leave it there. But if you have freebies, value, resources where people download and you receive notifications, definitely send an email. You can even create an email template. You don't need to create it from scratch. Say, welcome, really love that you have, been interested in our resources. I'm happy, I'm here for you. That's it. And we leave it there. Does this help you, Carrie? Thank you. So some of you might have online workshops, some of you might have webinars or introductory online resources, whatever you organize. Again, doing online workshops, it's very important that we start with an icebreaker. Yeah. If you have people that you don't know, like for me, I always create my own online, workshops. It's about 5 weeks. There is a cohort of people I don't know. Yeah? For example, here I know more or less all the people via IAPC&M. It's a wonderful family and great community. So you don't necessarily need to do an icebreaker, but if it's a new cohort, maybe important for you as translations, or Carrie, you do something as well, wondering in professional mentoring. If you have a cohort, make sure you start with an icebreaker. Have enough time for people to introduce themselves quickly, but also an icebreaker game. And that could be to put people into breakout rooms so that they get to know each other. Or you might go with icebreakers of asking interesting questions like, what is your favorite hobby? Or what would you like to do X, Y, Z? You can come up with tons of ideas, which are online. So that is really creating a bit more relationship, because all of them are unique and individual. And to get a cohort together to work over 5 weeks, it's a different story. If it's only a 1/2, still, I would prefer that you do a bit of an icebreaker and let people introduce themselves quickly. So always cater time for that, because that will be with people about 10, let's say, minimum 15 minutes for everyone to introduce themselves. But I think that's a very important aspect, to meet your clients like a professional, because you give them space. It's not about you, it's about them. You want to provide value for them. It's not you, right? And that's why we need to also respect and also honor. Ask questions throughout your workshop. Don't deliver it only and then go off. And also measure how it is. Are they a bit more open? Some people are more active than others. Maybe you want to pick on other people as well. You know, get the engagement going. And be also, again, measuring how they are. Think as well, shall I call out or not? Some people might be introvert. Still, you can actually call out their name, saying, oh, I haven't heard from you, Peter, for a while. So what is your stance on it? Maybe Peter might say, oh, I don't have any opinion. It's perfectly fine. It's good. But during online workshops, people can doze away. And what you want is engagement. What you want is that they learn, that they get something out of it. So for you as the facilitator, you definitely need to be on your toes and always measuring and seeing what you can do. What else can we do? Oh, there's a lot that you can do. Polls, like we have on Zoom, you know, asking questions. Yeah. Or you can use Mentimeter. I love Mentimeter as well, you know, where you type in all these questions and then they respond. There are quizzes, games. You can have interactive games. And also music. When I say games, I love to do this with my students a lot. When they are online, I use Kahoot. Have you heard about Kahoot? Beautiful quiz game. It's people are dialing in with their emails, and then you start the game and you ask questions like a quiz. You know, for example, I went through my thing and then I would put in a Kahoot. Everyone's dialing in with the number. I see that everyone is in and we start questions. And then you will receive an award, whoever was accurate and the fastest. So that helps as well to have engagements during an online workshop, any meeting that you are going to hold, to give a bit of spice. Spicing up is very important. We've got so many tools that we can use now. I use also quite frequently music. Music, also aroma, but when it's online, we can't do the spray, so that doesn't work. But music helps a lot to change the mindset. And I've got specific melodies that I'm using, which are put in a way that is provoking food for thought, action, dynamics, or let go. So you can use your own music variation as well. Even, for example, when people are working in their breakout rooms. Diffuse, have some music in the background, because that gives as well. Or when you start and you're waiting for people to come in, start with music. The music is behind your, as a background. You can make it very low. And people coming in and they feel already, oh, it's coffee time, jazz, yeah, nice, lovely. You know, you feel relaxed already. Gives a different wine. So think about how you can make this spicy. Whoops. And what else? Recap at the end of all the participants. Yeah, at the end of the whole panel, the aha moment of participants. Because when we are giving a workshop, is like someone is talking, like me, I'm talking, but then I want to know, what is your aha? What have you taken away? And give them homework as well, so that they reflect. And if it's a cohort over 5 weeks, you will recap next week about the homework, get their ideas, and continue with the next module. That gives, again, accountability, that I need to provide something, that there is some sort of reflection required from me, because what we want is from our clients to get value. It's not about you, it's about them. And for me, at the end, I always ask throughout, what is your aha moment? What were your key takeaways from today's session? What do you think were most valuable for you? And everyone has got a different answer. And that's normal, because we are all different. Our experiences are different. Our clients are different. So the takeaways will be different as well. Quiz, we mentioned that already. And an online activity even for you. Here. Well, how are we doing on time, Julie? I didn't even measure because I'm just carried away. We're good. So homework for you. Now, here we go. Choose one of the online nurturing suggestions, and I would love that you get back to me to see how it works. If you have chosen it, if you have tried it out, how did it profit your clients, and how was it for you as an experience? And try one of the engagement suggestions during your next online workshop, and share your experience again in this wonderful community of IAPC&M, because we learn from each other, I think, and that's the beauty. And also during the cohort, if everyone shares, is really great, because we are enriching each one of ourselves. So with that, I would like to take and go around what are your key takeaways of today, because we've got some here online. Some of them are on camera, some are not, but that's not an issue at all. We love to hear from everyone. I think we've got time, right?
Yes, of course we do. Yes.
Okay, good. And then we can go as well to other questions as well. So if we go around, and whom I see, ECF, it's Emma, right? Emma?
Yes, it's Emma. Yes, yep.
Yeah. So Emma, what was your takeaway from today?
I think for me, it's having the monthly review of the database and checking in a bit more, but having more of a process and a system in place to sort of remind yourself to do that, because sometimes you can get so busy that you kind of let that drop a bit. So having a system, I think.
Good. Yeah, helps a lot. I mean, this keeps you as well in the mind of your clients, and this is how you meet them as well, like a professional. And sometimes, sometimes I forget. And then there is an email coming and say, oh, yes, this is the right moment, because sometimes it's not the right moment for the client to go for translation services, for example. But when you consistently remind them, you will stay in my mind. And if I need, I will get back to you. Thank you, Emma. And Carrie, of today's session, what was the most valuable for you?
I like two things very much. I like the whole nurturing philosophy, and I really liked the alternative suggestions that you've given for online workshops, like the music, for example. I've never thought about using music, but I've just been jotting down a few sort of moments where it would really come in useful, because I do a lot of online training, and online I need to spice it up, and I love that phrase too. So music, nurture, spice.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you very much. That will help you. Absolutely. I love to be a bit more engaging, because people are so boring when they come in, and then people are always late. So having some kind of, even when they work, because you do online workshops, right? And you give most likely some time for them to work on themselves and reflect. Put music on. Helps a lot. It's really great. Good. Thanks, Carrie. And Peter?
I think for me, it's around the not being complacent with the presence that's out there, because even if I'm not proactively doing a lot, my brand presence is there. So yeah, it's reviewing that a little more regular rather than just leaving it and forgetting about it because I know what I'm doing, kind of thing.
Good. Thank you, Peter. Absolutely. And it requires consistent review. I don't know how many times I change my tagline in LinkedIn. I mean, you can't imagine. And my website, I constantly review it. Why? Because I add something, then I evolve myself. So this is a journey for us. We are our own chief executive officers. We need to execute, but we are also our own chief empowerment officers. We are also our own chief energy officers. We need to give the energy to ourselves and nurture ourselves as well to give back. And there's a lot of responsibilities lying on our shoulders, and you're the one who's driving it. You can have an accountable buddy. That's absolutely fine. You can find it in your partner, in your friend, in your family, wherever, in what kind of surroundings. But you're the one who needs to review constantly, because you're changing as well. And how we are perceived by our clients is very important. Okay, and Dawn.
Hello. I guess a couple of things. It's a reminder. So, for example, I wouldn't say every day, but I would say most days I do go into my birthday upcoming events and do that. but it's a reminder to keep doing it. And it's something that I remembered when a few people had sent me messages, and it cheered me up. This was a few years ago, and that's why I've been doing that for a few years. But it's, you know, as much as I can do, because I'm trying to reduce the amount on screen. I had a question around the music thing, because it was something that I'd been considering doing, and then I got stuck for ideas. And one of the things that I was aware of is oh, help me out, menopause brain, can't think of the word. A license, not having license
Oh
to
yeah,
play
the rights.
music.
Correct.
Yeah, so that was something that had occurred to me before. I've not thought about it in a long while, but I like the idea of music in an intro, you know, when people are joining, instead of, I've seen that before and I thought that was quite nice, but I couldn't think of another way to use music during the event. So if anyone's got any ideas, I'm open to those.
I'm using it quite frequently for example, my cohort for energy. I've got a different music. I'm a conscious music coach as well. So there was a different, you know, beats that I add one after the other, right? And that gives as well energy. You know what? We've got time, right? Give me 1 sec.
But just one thing though, because the question of rights is quite a good one, right? I mean, there's not
Yes.
everything that we can use. You know, we can't take
No.
existing songs without paying. So do you create these beats yourself, or do you know, some of them, I guess you can find them online. I don't know if there's like a free, you know, just like the free pictures, you can go to a site which then has right-free music.
Well, mine are special ones, because I'm a trained conscious music coach, and Gina, who has created all that, has allowed me and licensed me to actually use them. However,
Okay.
I used a lot as well during YouTube. I went on YouTube, jazz, you know, and you've got 1.5 hours of jazz music. It's there.
Yeah.
You don't need to have a license to use it. So I used that a lot in the beginning, also when people were actually, you know, writing down some stuff. But here I'm going to share and do something online with you now. Give me 1 sec. Nope, stop sharing. Excuse me. I need to share.
Just while you're
as well
doing
the
that,
sound.
then I'll let you do that, Hulya. But I also think that probably it has to do with how long we share the piece of the music. Because when you look at it on Instagram, you know, when we do reels or when we put music in the background, they're all readily downloadable. We can take them. So there must be, maybe it's if you play the whole thing that you're not allowed to do it and have to pay rights.
No,
But on
no,
Instagram, it gives you all this choice. I just put in the words. I was running yesterday. I wrote "run" and "wild" and all these songs came up. And I was like, okay, right, let's put that one on the photo of me jogging. So I think, you know, it must also have to do with the length of the piece.
That could be possible. I don't use it a lot as well, only in the beginning. So when people are joining, because then there's always silence, everyone's waiting, right? So we give a bit of grace period of 2-3 minutes. That's nice to actually have that music. And when people reflect, I also play music. That's maximum 5 minutes, for example. But let's do this. Do you hear the music?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guide this through actually. So think about, this is about taking yourself into a different fashion, into a different manner. Think about what is really bothering you at the moment. If it's a bit of workload, maybe a bit of emotional, and you really want to get rid of this, think about that. Put you into it, absorb the music. Think about what is really giving you trouble at this point of time. Go into that, and you want to get rid of it. But now, I would like you now to think about this beat. And now you move. And I tell people to move as well, even online. Go with the beat. leave that behind. Whatever you were thinking about, oh my God, this workload, this bothering, these emotions, yeah, leave them, get them out. And something else I would like you now to concentrate and focus on the next beat. And I want you to shake your hands. Shake, 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 shake. Get rid of it. Whatever it is, we don't want this. Yes, it's easy. It's falling. It's falling out on the ground. And you leave everything behind. Shake, shake, shake. And then I want you to actually, you can do yes, and you can actually step on it. Just crush it in. And I also tell people to stand up, right? Stand up. And you crash it down. And everything is getting small because you're bigger than anything else. And you've got the power. And then listen to the guitar. Yes. And now we're getting into a state where everything is free. And then it's fading away. And I want you to come back to the here and now.
Wow, that's very effective. You could be a DJ, Hulya. There we are. Next summer, let's plan a retreat somewhere, and you can be a
We're
music
thinking
coach.
about it anyways. So I use that a lot doing when it's really feasible and when it makes sense. Yeah, that might be leaving your trouble behind, you know, or really burnout, or getting energy. You know, I've got different, you know, kind of, you know, mixes. Again, you don't need to have the music that I have, because on YouTube, there's a lot out there, and you only play it when it's necessary. And sometimes you can be very intuitive as well, because let's measure and see the gut feeling, the pulse, you know, what's the audience? What do they need? If they really like down, let's cheer them up. And cheering up means energy. Energy comes from energy. So the more you move, the more energy you generate. So it really depends. Huh? So this is how you meet clients as well and surprise them, because what you leave them with is with emotions. And this is why they stick with you. The emotion is important.
I think it's actually very effective. I mean, just those little examples, I'm thinking, right, why don't I just actually do something completely different and create just that? You know, everybody's so busy and we're throwing so much content at them. I'm thinking, wow, you know, what about just these little snippets where for 5 minutes you can choose to either re-energize or to let go? I thought this was actually a very good thing, Hulya. But before I forget, because I see Natalie had written something here, and I'm supposed to be in charge monitoring your comments here. So, right. Anyway, she's on the metro, so hard to speak. She's sorry. She loved the insight into how professionalism is so different in different situations, because she lives in Italy. So it is indeed, it is very also culturally, you know, what is considered professional in Italy is not the same as, you know, you mentioned Turkey or, you know, wherever. And her British clients have different expectations from the Italian clients, and we don't always remember that. And I think that's a very good point, because, you know, this is you know, IAPC&M, we're very much about the international, but sometimes we get so, you know, locked up into our image of the world and what it means for us that we forget that if we do want to expand, which most of us do want to do, you know, thankfully with online and the fact that most of us then are English speakers, it gives us a big world out there to actually get hold of. So yes, I just wanted to share you that. And Natalie's saying clap session, and Kerry had to go, in case you're wondering why she's disappeared, because she was wonderfully interactive. Peter, you're going, or you have a question? He's waving.
No, I need to go. Unfortunately, I need to do a little bit of prep before my next session. So thank you for today. Appreciate your energy and efforts.
I hope you're all groovy now, Peter. Get that groove into your next session, right?
Thank you very much.
Thanks for being here, Peter.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, Peter. Okay. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I'd like to ask, just to follow up on the license thing, because I like the idea of using music, but I still think that there's, because you've said that you've got this music from a friend, like, so
I'm licensed to use it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So are we saying then that us people without a license can't play that music on our?
Not the one that I used, but again, I used a lot as well without licensing YouTube. you know, YouTube on jazz, for example, but not the 1.5 hours, only 5 minutes in the beginning, then I leave it, and then maybe in between. Because YouTube, normally, if you don't exaggerate, there is no license as far as I know. And you can always, you know, also mention that you're using jazz, blah, blah, from YouTube, if you want to really, like using pictures, you know, paying a tribute to, I'm using from blah, 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 this. So you can use definitely.
That's a good point, because you're not selling their music, right? It's not,
No.
because I think there's a difference between, say, you are giving, you know, I made a joke about a dance party, but say you are using that music in order to charge people tickets for a dance thing, then that's not allowed. But I think we should just Google it. I mean, to be honest, you know, can I use music that I download for?
I'm not a
as
lawyer
background
either, right? So
music?
I don't know about that. But
Mhm.
what I know, that I use YouTube from time to time, just 2-3 minutes to warm up in between when people are working. I'm not selling anything else, and that's it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
but again, there is not, I mean, we use images as well a lot, where in our blog posts, I use images a lot as well. I try to use without license, but sometimes there's such a great image that I say, okay, this has been used under da, 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 da. So that
Yeah, I mean, I'm still stuck with that idea of Instagram, because I would have immediately said, no, be careful, right?
Yeah.
But it is true that all the stories on Instagram, I mean, I don't ever do stories, and I do one a day, as the consistency is that, you know, I just, it chooses, it suggests the music, and it doesn't say you're paying rights. So whether Instagram buys the rights and then, you know, I don't know, but you are allowed to use it. The ones you're not allowed, don't show it. Because I know the other day I did want a specific song and it wasn't there. So then I can imagine that one is
that was
right.
not allowed, most likely.
Yeah.
But you can check with the lawyer, Dawn, you know, I mean, if you want to use specific, you know, if you have a friend to check in.
Yeah, it costs me
would
more
check
to
it,
get
just
a lawyer
Google
than it
first.
would be to get a license.
Exactly. I would say, I'm sure
And
you
you
can
get a
find it
license.
online. I'm sure there is something online if you
I'm
say,
sure
you
as
know,
well.
can I unlimitedly use, you know, music from the internet for an event? Do I have to pay? Well, that sort of thing.
I should imagine, Julie, that the difference between using it on Instagram, I think you touched on it a minute or so ago, is that you're not selling, that isn't a sold event. So nobody's paid to hear or watch your 20-second video. Whereas if I've got a workshop and I pay, and which is a paid workshop, and I pay,
you are using it as a medium, right?
we
all have to make our own beats then, girls. Let's get creative.
Well, I guess, look, you know, I don't know whether this is recorded or not, but, you know, people have to make up their own mind whether they...
Yep.
You can check.
It is recorded, so watch out, Dawn. I don't want you to get arrested.
No, but you can
been
check.
Nice knowing you, and it's been nice knowing you, and if you could all come and visit me whilst I'm
We'll bring you oranges when you're locked up somewhere. Exactly. No, I mean, but these are good points. But Hulya, those tips have been fantastic. I mean, same thing. I've never done quizzes. You know, some of the things that I'm thinking, like, gosh, you know, why am I not being more creative with all of that? I do still stick to the things that I do. So thank you very much for this on this very hot and sweltering day, for having turned up to give us sparked a lot of ideas and tips and tricks, and was super concise and Hulya style, professional, right to the end of her fingertips, of course. So thank you for that. And thank you for you all for being here as well. And for those listening online or the replay, these are great tips. And I mean, professionalism is everything, right? Why should they trust you? You know, when there's so many people out there, and it is something that we need to choose our brand, you know, and stay consistent on and offline. I like that as well. You know, we are what we do as well. It's not just, right, I'm an absolutely horrible bat from hell, but to my clients, I'm adorable and so sweet.
Yeah.
No, that does not work. You know, we need to show up literally as all of who we are. And that's what makes people relate to us. I think, okay, I trust that girl. She's, turning up as who she is. So thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned that.
Yeah, that's what I meant, really. You know, so I went to a networking event last week with a friend of mine who's also another coach, and somebody asked me a question, and I saw the corners of my friend's mouth go, oh, any minute now she's going to tell him what she really thinks. Like, don't ask. If you don't want to know the real answer, then don't ask. And I was like, so I did it in a nice way, but I told the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
well done. It's not about what you say, it's about how you say it, Dawn. You can say anything you want.
But it is true. That is the authenticity. And you know, we
Yeah.
always say that love is the highest vibrational level. I was listening to a whole thing the other day saying it's authenticity, the highest vibrational level. It's people can
Absolutely.
really feel when you're being
yes.
authentic. And well, okay, I'm perhaps a little bit older certainly than you are. Was it Emma from the translations? But it also comes from vulnerability often, you know, from really sharing. And actually, I see the posts, the ones where I get delusions of information is often when I've shared something that people don't know about me. You know, they see the power horse and the fabulous after 50 and all of this, and then I share, you know, the down moments, and they're a bit like, oh, right. So yeah, she too. And I'm like, yes, of course she too, you know, I'm not a robot.
Absolutely. It's life.
Yeah.
This is life. You don't get always, you know, fulfilled with things, and you've got life adversities all the time, right?
We
Right,
all
so
have
stand
shitty days. We all have shitty days.
We
and
all
the-
have
you know.
shitty days, and we own them because those shitty days make us enjoy the sunny days, right? Otherwise, it would be super boring. Right, it's 5:31. I thank you all very much. Look forward to next time. Good luck with all of this, and have a lovely summer wherever you are and whatever you're up to.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you so much for showing
Thanks so
up.
much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.